I moved through the rain-slicked streets like a ghost, the neon glow slicing through the mist and catching on the shards of broken glass beneath my boots. The city never slept, its electric heart pulsing all around me in a chaotic rhythm of blinking lights and distant sirens. Somewhere in this labyrinth of steel and addiction, my brother had vanished. No calls, no messages, just an absence carved into the digital noise. My enhanced eyes flicked upwards, scanning the flickering signs in shades of violet and toxic green. Advertisements for memory implants and virtual escapes danced before me. A cruel mockery of the fragmentary memories I clung to, memories of us before the disappearance. I wrapped my coat tighter, its neon trim glowing faintly against the damp night. The chill that settled in my bones wasn't just from the weather. It was the cold certainty that he was out there, lost in a way I couldn't yet understand. Rumors had started to surface, whispered in encrypted forums and crackling over static-filled channels, about a black market where memories were bought and sold like commodities. I had scoffed at the idea once, but desperation is a powerful lens, warping disbelief into possibility. My first tangible lead came from a data packet intercepted in a grimy back alley, a fragment of forbidden code that shimmered faintly in the air. Downloading it felt like stepping off a ledge into unknown depths. The file hinted at auctions where stolen memories were peddled as immersive entertainment, a grotesque carnival of lost identities. I tried to shake the weight of the revelation, but the city's neon veins seemed to pulse in time with the urgency growing inside me. On a rooftop above the chaos, I let the electric hum wash over me, staring out at the city that swallowed souls whole. My brother's face flickered in my mind, a ghost in the data stream, and I vowed to find him, no matter the cost. Back in my cramped apartment, walls cracked and stained with the residue of forgotten dreams, I flicked on my workstation. The holographic keyboard sprang to life beneath my fingers, casting a blue glow against the peeling paint. Each keystroke was decisive, a step into the shadows where few dared to tread. I was no stranger to hacking, it was survival, a language I had learned through loss and necessity. But this was different. This was personal. The city outside buzzed with unending life, oblivious to the storm gathering beneath its surface. Somewhere in those neon-lit depths, the truth waited, and I was ready to dive in. The hum of the data streams thrummed louder as I connected to the underworld networks, a digital heartbeat matching my own. The trail was faint, fragmented, just like the memories I sought, but it was there, and I wouldn't stop until I found every last piece. Rin, I whispered to the empty room, the name a shield against the creeping doubt. I'm coming for you, brother. Outside, the neon ghosts flickered and danced, shadows of what was lost and what might yet be reclaimed. The hunt had begun. The city never truly slept. Even as the neon signs flickered erratically in the rain-streaked windows of cramped apartments and the distant hum of hovercars faded into the early morning mist, the digital undercurrent pulsed with life beneath the surface. In the heart of this sprawling labyrinth, I sat alone, surrounded by the glow of countless screens and the soft whir of my cybernetic implants, hunting for a ghost. My brother. For years, his absence had been a void I couldn't fill. The cold case files, the unanswered calls, the silence that stretched between us like an unbreakable firewall. But now, a whisper of hope had found its way to me. Rumors of a black market where memories were traded, stolen, sold, and consumed like cheap entertainment had reached my ears. If my brother was out there somewhere, trapped in fragments of data, then I had to find him. I adjusted the interface on my wrist console, fingers moving with practiced ease over the holographic keyboard. The neon glow from the city's heart spilled through my window, casting elongated shadows that danced across the cluttered surfaces of my apartment. The air was thick with the scent of ozone and burnt circuits, a scent that had become strangely comforting over the years. Diving into the city's chaotic data streams was like swimming through a sea of fractured memories and discarded lives. Most of the chatter was noise, petty thefts, gang turf wars, corporate espionage. But beneath it all, I could sense a pattern, a faint pulse of encrypted transmissions that hummed just beyond the reach of casual scanners. Tracking them down was painstaking work. Each data packet was layered with recursive encryptions designed to hide their origins and destinations. But my cybernetic enhancements, ocular implants that processed visual data at speeds no human eye could match, neural processors that accelerated my thought patterns, gave me an edge. Hours slipped by. The city outside shifted through the cycles of neon-lit night into the gray wash of dawn. Then, like a ghost surfacing from the depths, I caught it, a flicker of familiar code embedded within a stream of illicit memory packets. I followed the digital trail to a shadowed alley not far from where I grew up. A street vendor, hunched beneath a tarpaulin, was broadcasting encrypted transmissions through a battered terminal. The neon-dyed edges of his clothing reflected the flickering streetlights, casting his face in ghostly hues. I slid a data spike from my jacket pocket and connected it to the vendor's transmitter, siphoning off fragments of the data stream. The hum of the city faded around me as I decrypted the signal. What I saw made my breath catch, blurry images of a face I knew all too well, my brother's. Laughter caught between pixels, the curve of a smile frozen in time. The fragments were broken, incomplete, but unmistakable. Memories of a street corner bathed in amber light, a distant sunset that I'd seen with him once, a voice echoing in my mind. But they were also tainted, corrupted by layers of manipulation, altered for entertainment's sake. I leaned back against the cold brick wall, the weight of it pressing down on my chest. The city's neon veins pulsed around me, indifferent to the shards of a life being auctioned in the shadows. Back in my apartment, I spread the fragments across my hollow display, fingers tracing the lines and colors of a past that was no longer whole. My cybernetic eyes flickered with a soft blue light as I ran algorithms to reconstruct the missing pieces. Each recovered memory was a thread, fragile and tenuous, stitching together a tapestry of loss and hope. But with each revelation came a deeper question: who was my brother now, stripped of his memories? And what did that mean for me? The city outside brightened with the first light of day, neon signs dimming to shadows. But inside, my resolve burned brighter than ever. I would find him. I would piece him back together, no matter the cost. The hunt was just beginning, and the fragments of the past were my only guide. As the data streams flowed endlessly around me, I prepared to dive deeper into the labyrinth of stolen memories and neon ghosts. The city was alive with secrets, and I was ready to unearth them all. But the deeper I went, the clearer it became. In this city, memories were more than just echoes. They were currency, identity, and the battleground where the war for self was being fought. And I was caught in its center, chasing a ghost through the fragments of a fractured world. Night deepened again as I scanned through endless data shards, each one a whispered secret in the neon-lit darkness. My fingers danced over the hollow keys, decrypting, parsing, piecing together the broken mosaic of stolen consciousness. Somewhere in this tangled web was the truth about my brother and the price of forgetting. The city's pulse beat around me, a symphony of electric dreams and digital despair. And I was its hunter, chasing the flickering shadows of a past that refused to die. The hunt continued. The rain had just stopped when I slipped into the labyrinthine alley that led to the memory bazaar. Neon signs buzzed overhead, their fractured light bouncing off puddles that mirrored the fractured city skyline. The air was thick with the scent of ozone and burnt circuits, a metallic tang that made my skin crawl. Every step I took echoed softly, swallowed nearly whole by the murmurs and distant digital static that seeped from the hidden doorways. The bazaar wasn't on any map. It existed only in whispers and encrypted chatter, a ghost in the city's sprawling network. The door I found was unassuming, a rusted metal slab with a flickering keypad glowing faintly in the dim light. My fingers danced over the worn keys, inputting the sequence Echo had hacked for me. The lock hissed open, revealing a narrow stairwell spiraling down into the depths beneath the neon sprawl. I drew a breath, steel in my chest, and descended. The basement was a cavernous expanse, illuminated by the pulsing glow of neon tubes and holographic projectors. The air was electric, charged with anticipation and the low hum of countless servers humming in the shadows. Figures cloaked in black and neon gathered around stalls and makeshift stages, their faces obscured by digital visors and masks that shimmered with streaming data. The bazaar was a circus of the mind, a grotesque marketplace where memories were stripped from their owners and sold like cheap trinkets. I moved through the crowd, senses sharpened. The walls were lined with translucent screens displaying snippets of lives, not their own childhood joys, forbidden romances, moments of terror. The audience pumped neural stimulants, their pupils dilated, faces awash in the glow of stolen experiences. It was mesmerizing and horrifying all at once. At the center of this chaos stood Tess, the auctioneer, a woman whose aura commanded attention. Her voice was smooth, slicing through the din with practiced ease as she presented memory fragments for bidding. Each sale was a transaction stripped of empathy, the human stories behind them reduced to data packets for entertainment or escapism. I edged closer, scanning the holograms. My heart stuttered when a flicker caught my eye, a fleeting image of a sunlit park bench, the faint outline of a familiar smile. My breath hitched. The laugh that followed was unmistakable, my brother's. The realization crashed over me like a wave. Here were pieces of him, fractured and scattered, being dissected and sold without consent. A cold knot formed in my stomach. The bazaar was worse than I imagined. This was no mere black market. It was a mausoleum of lost selves, where identity was bought and sold under the flickering neon shadows. I couldn't turn away. I had to find a way to reclaim what was stolen, no matter the cost. As the auction progressed, I kept my head down, blending into the crowd while plotting my next move. The danger was palpable. One misstep and I'd be exposed, swallowed whole by the syndicate's mercenaries. But the sight of my brother's memories, fragmented and commodified, steeled my resolve. The bazaar's cacophony faded into the background as I retreated into the night, the neon glow painting my silhouette against the rain-slick streets. The fight was just beginning, and somewhere in the depths of this city of ghosts, my brother's story was waiting to be reclaimed. I clenched my fists, neon light flickering off my cybernetic implants. No one would forget him. Not on my watch. The rain came down in sheets, washing the neon-lit streets in a blur of color and light that smeared into a haze of electric blue and acid pink. I stood in the back alley, boots splashing in shallow puddles, my breath misting in the cold air. The city never slept, and tonight it whispered secrets loud enough for those who dared listen. I was hunting ghosts, memories stolen and sold like cheap trinkets, and the trail had led me here, to a shadowed corner where the digital underworld flickered alive. A figure emerged from the gloom, short and wiry, with hair dyed a furious neon green that seemed to pulse with the rhythm of the city itself. A digital visor glowed softly over her eyes, casting shifting patterns on her angular face. "You must be Rin," she said, voice sharp but laced with a sly grin. "Echo." I studied her carefully. In this world of data theft and fractured identities, trust was a currency far rarer than credits. "What do you want?" I asked, my voice steady but my heart quickening. "To survive," Echo replied, stepping closer, the digital visor reflecting the neon chaos around us. "And maybe help you find what you're looking for." The city hummed around us, a symphony of distant sirens, the murmur of crowds, and the incessant buzz of data streams flowing through the veins of this concrete labyrinth. Echo led me through a narrow door into a cramped room crammed with humming servers, tangled cables, and flickering holographic displays. The air smelled of hot circuits and stale coffee. She gestured to a floating interface, hands moving with practiced ease as fragments of memory data danced before us. "This is the black market's currency," she said, eyes gleaming behind the visor. "Memories ripped from lives, packaged and sold to the highest bidder. Your brother's traces are here, shards, but enough to follow." My fingers twitched, itching to dive in, to piece together the scattered echoes of a life stolen from me. But the deeper I waded, the more I felt the shadows closing in, corporate mercenaries, rival hackers, the ever-watchful eye of Dr. Kale Voss's syndicate. Suddenly, an alarm blared, a sharp digital intrusion attempt aimed at our location. Echo's fingers flew across her console, launching countermeasures with a grin that masked the tension. "They don't like visitors," she said dryly. "But neither do I." The rush of adrenaline bound us in a fragile camaraderie, a fleeting connection in a world built on deception. In the flickering neon shadows of that cramped den, I glimpsed a sliver of hope, a partner in the hunt, a voice in the static. Yet beneath the glimmer, the question gnawed. Could I trust her, or was I stepping deeper into a trap woven from lies and half-truths? The night was young, and the memory trade was a beast that fed on the vulnerable. But for now, I had an ally, and that was enough to keep moving forward. The city's neon veins pulsed outside the walls, and with Echo at my side, I was ready to dive deeper into the labyrinth. "Let's see what ghosts we can find," Echo said, a flicker of a smile breaking through her usual cynicism. I nodded, heart tight but eyes sharp. The hunt had just begun. Night deepened, and the glow of the city felt heavier, more suffocating. Echo's den was a sanctuary of buzzing electronics and whispered secrets, a stark contrast to the chaos outside. Around us, holographic screens floated midair, flickering with images of faces I barely recognized, snippets of memories from the black market's dark ledger. Echo leaned back, removing her visor momentarily to reveal eyes sharp and calculating. "You're obsessing," she teased, watching me pore over a particularly fragmented memory. "You can't stitch together a whole life from broken pieces." But I couldn't stop. Each shard was a thread pulling me closer to the truth and to him. "I have to try," I whispered. "He's out there somewhere." She gave me a long look, then nodded slowly. "All right, Rin, I'm in, but this isn't just about your brother. This market is a beast, feeding on every lost soul in this city." Together, we began mapping the network: data thieves, memory brokers, shadowy auctioneers. Echo's insider knowledge was invaluable, her wit cutting through the complexity like a laser. Yet beneath her sharp humor, I sensed scars, betrayals that had shaped her into the wary, fiercely loyal hacker she was. Days blurred into nights as we chased leads through the neon-lit maze. The city's pulse was relentless, a cacophony of distant pulses, synthetic beats, and the low hum of data streams. Every corner held danger, every contact a potential enemy. Still, we pushed forward, piecing together the fragmented puzzle. There were moments when the weight of it all pressed down, when doubt whispered that this fight was bigger than either of us. But then Echo's laughter would cut through the dark, a reminder that even in the shadows, humanity flickered. "You ever think about walking away?" I asked one night, staring out at the rain-slick streets. "Every damn day," she admitted. "But someone's got to fight back." Her words settled in me, a fragile ember of determination. I wasn't just fighting for my brother anymore. I was fighting for all the forgotten ghosts lost in the data streams. As the neon lights flickered outside, I felt the first stirrings of trust, a dangerous, necessary thing. Echo was my ally now, a beacon in the fractured cityscape. But the deeper we delved, the darker the shadows grew. And I knew our alliance would be tested. The hunt was far from over. Suddenly, the door to the den hissed open and slammed against the wall. Echo's visor flashed red warnings, and her fingers danced frantically across the console. "They found us," she hissed, voice tight. I grabbed my gear as the room's lights dimmed and emergency protocols kicked in. Outside, the city's neon glow felt distant, muffled by the thick steel walls around us. "We're not going down without a fight," Echo said, eyes blazing behind the visor. The next minutes were a blur, digital battles waged in cyberspace, the crackle of encrypted transmissions, the pounding of our hearts in the silence between attacks. When the assault finally subsided, we were battered but standing. The close call sealed our bond, not just as partners, but as survivors in a ruthless game. "This is just the beginning," I said, voice low. Echo nodded, the faintest smile breaking through. "Neon ghosts don't disappear that easily." Together, we turned back to the glowing screens, ready to chase the next fragment of a stolen past. The room was steeped in the muted glow of neon light filtering through cracked blinds, casting fractured patterns across the cluttered surfaces. Rin sat cross-legged on the cold floor, a hollow table suspended between her and Echo, its surface alive with swirling data fragments. Outside, the city's relentless pulse throbbed in waves of electric blue and pink, a constant reminder of the world she fought to penetrate. Echo tapped a sequence into the console, her fingers adorned with chipped black nail polish that caught the light with every movement. "Got a lead," she muttered, voice low and dry as a desert wind. "These fragments are more than just memories, they're breadcrumbs leading us right to the heart of the Syndicate." Rin's eyes, augmented with subtle cybernetic implants, scanned the projections. Flickering images of faces, places, and moments danced in fractured loops, some too distorted to recognize, others painfully clear. Among them, a flash of a pale, sharp-featured man with glowing blue ocular augmentations sent a jolt through her chest. "Dr. Kale Voss," she whispered, the name tasting like ash on her tongue. "He's not just some shadow in the background, he's pulling the strings." Echo smirked, the edge of cynicism in her voice cutting through the tension. "Told you the big fish don't swim alone." Rin leaned closer, her fingers deftly manipulating the holographic interface. Each fragment decrypted revealed more about her brother's stolen consciousness, moments of laughter, flashes of fear, and then silence, the digital specter of a life stolen, repurposed for entertainment in the city's darkest corners. The air between them was thick with unspoken fears. Echo's usual quips were absent, replaced by a rare seriousness. "We're not just poking a hornet's nest here," she warned. "Voss's security is tight, and they don't take kindly to trespassers." Rin's jaw tightened. The memory fragments were fragile, scrambled with layers of encryption designed to erase the past like smoke in the wind. Yet the traces were enough to ignite a fire she couldn't extinguish. Hours slipped by as they worked in tandem, Echo's street-hardened instincts guiding their navigation through the labyrinthine data streams, and Rin's technical prowess dismantling the digital defenses. The neon glow outside dimmed as the city shifted into the graveyard hours, but inside the room, time seemed suspended, tethered only to the relentless pursuit of truth. Suddenly, the hollow table flickered violently. An alarm blared softly from their comms, an intrusion detected. Mercenary hackers, sentinels of the Syndicate's digital fortress, were converging on their location. "We've been made," Echo hissed, eyes darting to the door. "Time to move." Rin grabbed the data core containing the decrypted fragments, her mind racing to piece together the next move. The revelation of Dr. Voss's direct involvement was a breakthrough, but it was also a beacon painting a target on their backs. As they slipped out into the rain-slicked streets, the city's neon veins pulsed around them, a glowing maze filled with danger and deceit. The fight was no longer just for her brother's memories, it was for the very essence of identity, a battle waged in shadows and light, code and flesh. In the dim glow of a nearby alley, Rin paused to catch her breath, the fragmented voice of her brother whispering faintly in her mind, a haunting echo that fueled her resolve. The stakes had never been higher, and the path ahead was shrouded in darkness, but she was no longer alone. "We'll tear their world apart," she vowed quietly, eyes reflecting the neon glow, "piece by piece." And with that promise, she stepped back into the neon-lit labyrinth, ready to face whatever ghosts the data streams would throw at her.